How's it going? Welcome back to Each One Reach One, everybody. I appreciate you guys joining me today. We are back for part 8 and Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death, the 613 laws portion of the study. Let us give all praise, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahushai. All praises due. Grace, peace, and blessings to you out there listening who are of the elect of Israel. Glad to see you guys have made it back around my way today. We ended our last video in the dietary laws section of the 613 laws review that we were doing. Today, we're going to begin at 170 of 613. Topic, business practices. All right, let's get it. 170. Not to do wrong in buying or selling. Not to do wrong in buying or selling. Are any of you guilty of this? Not only are you guilty of this, have you ever been guilty of this? Because this is the question you have to ask with every single last one of these laws. Have you ever been guilty of this? Because if the law's in effect, then if you've ever done this at any point, if you've ever went afoul of any one of these laws at any point in your life, you're accountable for it. You're responsible, right? And you're responsible for atoning for that sin. And if you can't or you don't, you're in trouble. And you can't. And you don't because you can't. So you're in trouble. Bottom line. I'm pretty sure a good percentage of you have done people wrong in buying or selling. You have bamboozled people some kind of way. You've gotten over some kind of way in a sale or buying experience. You have. Be real with yourself. You can lie to me, but you can't lie to the Most High. He knows better. And you can't lie to yourself. So, and since I can't hear you responding to this, you're asking yourself this question. So be real with yourself. 171. Not to make a loan to an Israelite on interest. Have any of you done that? Have any of you ever loaned somebody something and wanted more back than what you loaned them in return? You would be guilty. 172. Not to borrow on interest, because this would cause the lender to sin. Not to borrow on interest. Now, living in this society, in this system, if you've been participating in this society, credit cards, purchasing homes, cars, buying anything that you needed credit for, you borrowed on interest before. You have. That's how the society runs. This is how they get over on the people. This is their normal business practice, and you've participated. So as a consumer in the society, you have went afoul of the law. You have borrowed on interest. You've caused the lender to sin. You shall not deduct interest from loans to your countrymen, whether in money or food or anything else that can be deducted as interest. And so you're looking, you're saying, oh man, countrymen, my countrymen. You don't really have any countrymen. You don't have a country. You don't really have any land. But if all the laws are in effect and this applies to you, you can't be exempt from this. So you're responsible. Verse number 173, not to take part in any usurious transaction between borrower and lender, neither as a surety, nor as a witness, nor as a writer of the bond for them. All right. 174. To lend to a poor person, even though the passage says if you lend, it is understood as obligatory. To lend to a poor person. Have you ever lended to a poor person? To one of your poor brethren? Let's narrow it down. Have you ever lended to a poor person, to one of your poor brethren, knowing that the likelihood of them paying you back was slim to none? You're supposed to do it, even though you know you're likely to not ever see it again. You're not going to get it back. So it's a good practice. If you're going to lend to people, you lend with the belief that, or the expectation of not getting it back, not receiving it back. That is something that you gave them or that you've done for them, right? If they manage to pay you back, that's a bonus, right? But that shouldn't be your objective, is to be paid back. You're supposed to lend to your poor brethren. Otherwise, you run afoul of the law. Hey, brother, let me hold $5. Let me hold $5. Let me hold $20. You got it, but you don't want to lend it to him because you know you ain't gonna see it again, or because either he's poor or because through your relationship with him you've lent to him before and he has a habit of not paying back. Yeah. But Most High don't care about that. You're supposed to lend to him anyway. You're supposed to lend to him anyway. Otherwise, you're going astray of the law. 175. Not to demand from a poor person repayment of his debt when the creditor knows that he cannot pay, nor press him. Right? So you shouldn't be demanding repayment of a debt from a person you know was unable to pay you, from someone you know they don't got it, but you constantly hit them. Hey man, when am I gonna be able to get that 20 back? You know that 100 I loaned you, man. When am I gonna see that again? You hitting them every day. So, well, hey, you got my bread? You got my money yet, fam? Don't make me come see you. Don't make me catch you out in the streets. Hey, I see you online. You know what I'm saying? Spending a little money and shit, but I ain't got paid yet. What's the deal? I'm gonna need my bread. That's pressing them. You ever done that? Pretty sure a lot of you have. You're guilty. 176. Not to take pledge in utensils used in preparing food. Not to exact a pledge from a debtor by force. Damn. Not to exact a pledge from there. Have you ever strong armed somebody to get your bread back? I have. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've done this, right? I'm like I said, I'm gonna keep it real. I I wasn't always no gentleman. I wasn't always no nice guy. I was a rough and rugged, fuck you up if you owe me, if you cross me, if I got a problem with you, I'm gonna be at your door every single day. Me and you we can get into it today. We're gonna get down, and tomorrow, every time I see you, it's gonna be a fade. Every time I see you, it's get down where you mad at. Right? Man, look, I'm so glad that the law of Moses is not in effect, because I'm guilty of this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times over, and I ain't been able to, and damn sure haven't atoned for this under the law. I would be in trouble like a motherfucker on this one. I'm gonna keep it all the way real with you, because once upon a time I was a different kind of guy. I was a completely different kind of guy. I'm a lot different from that now. I wouldn't do that now, but once upon a time, owing me wasn't the position you wanted to be in. You dig what I'm saying? 178. Not to keep the pledge from its owner at the time when he needs it. So if you owe somebody, see, now if you owe somebody and you got it and you don't pay it back to them, now they need it. They need that bread now, but you ain't gonna pay them back. You just gonna make them wait until you're ready to pay them back. You're guilty. You're guilty. See, you're not a poor person. You're somebody who has it. You have it. So they have the right to expect that back from you. You're not poor. They have the right to expect that in return. And you got it, and you won't give it to them when they need it. They need it right now. And you're like, oh man, okay, I know he need it, but man, you look, I just want to flip a little bit, or I need this little extra too. You know what I'm saying? I got it, but I need a little extra right now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll hit him back next week or next month or something. Maybe hey, let me hit you next paycheck, man. But meanwhile, his light's about to be cut off and you got it to give. But you gonna make him have to suffer because you ain't ready to hand over the bread. Guilty, guilty, guilty. Right? To return the pledge to its owner. What you're supposed to do, you got to pay back. You got to pay back. This is excluding the poor person law. This is talking about somebody who is of means. You gotta pay back what you owe. Not to take a pledge from a widow. You must not take a pledge from a widow. Not to commit fraud in measuring. Not to commit fraud in measuring. I'm just going to repeat it because that's common sense, right? It's obvious. I shouldn't have to break that down. We're all pretty much adults in here, right? And even if you're a teenager in here and you're listening to this, you should be able to understand this. Don't commit fraud in measuring, right? If you're supposed to be divvying something up, don't be defrauding anybody out of their portion. Don't be giving yourself a little extra and shorting somebody else out of theirs. Pretty sure a lot of you are guilty of doing this, taking a little from somebody else's piece of the pie to give yourself some extra crumbs, give yourself just a little bit extra on your plate, right? Guilty. To ensure that scales and weights are correct. To ensure that scales and weights are correct. Right? And see, now this is big because a lot of people believe that the Most High put us in this time, right? And he made the law of Moses, he made it to be still in effect in this time, but he didn't give us a way to fulfill the obligations of the law. This would make the Most High violator of this law. He would have given us unbalanced scales and weights, right? He's being a unrighteous judge. He's put you in a lose-lose situation. He put you in a situation that ain't fair, that's impossible for you. That's what you're saying by saying that the law is still in effect. You're saying the Most High, he's low down. That's what you're saying. You're saying the Most High, Yahweh, is being low down and dirty. He put you in a lose-lose situation. I gave you a lose-lose proposition. He's going to judge you for not being able to do what he didn't give you the ability to do. He stopped you. He prevented you from having the ability to do it. But he's going to hold you accountable for the handcuffs that he put on you. That doesn't sound like him to me. See, you don't know him. That's why you can say shit like that. That's why you can reason like that and say, yeah, I know we don't have a temple. Yeah, I know the sons of Aaron, you know what I'm saying, and the priesthood is not not intact, and you know what I mean. It's not in power. It's not an authority. You know, we don't know who the fuck they are, where the fuck they're at. We don't have a temple. No, we don't have our own land. No, we don't have our own flocks. No. But the Most High still requires us to fulfill the entirety of the law. He still requires us to fulfill the law. That's saying that he's unrighteous and he's not fair. He's not balanced. Right? You're saying he's low down and dirty in his dealing. That's what you're saying. He's not a loving God. He's not a loving power. Right? He's a shyster, according to you. That's what you're saying about his character. I wouldn't keep saying that if I were you. I would change that sentiment, that thought, and those words very fucking fast if I were you. 184. Employees, servants, and slaves. 184. Not to delay payment of a hired man's wages. You ever hire somebody to do something for you? They completed the job and then you didn't pay him on time. You didn't pay him promptly. You made him wait for his money. He did the job. He satisfied the obligations of of what you wanted them to do, and then you didn't pay them, right? You start giving them all sorts of excuses. Well, hold on, man. Let me see. I ain't got it right now. You got to wait because I'm waiting on this money, right? I got to wait for this other money to come through for me on this end over here, and then I can pay you that money I owe you. No, you shouldn't hire a person to do a job if you don't already have the money in hand to pay them. And if you have ever had somebody do some work for you and you didn't pay them promptly, guilty, guilty, guilty. 185, that the hired laborer shall be permitted to eat of the produce he is reaping. Again, most of us don't even have land or farms or anything like that. So this wouldn't apply to you, right? But it sounds like the Most High is, he gave these laws to people who would have their own land. They would have land, right? They would be able to hire people to work their land. This is why you have all these laws. He gave his laws for dealing with your employees, dealing with servants, dealing with the people who are under you. But yet we're at the bottom. We don't have any of this stuff. How can we be held accountable for all these things? And most of these things don't even, a lot of these things, let's use the other phrase. Most of these things do not apply to us, but it's still in effect. It doesn't make any sense. But let's keep it moving. 186, that the hired laborer shall not take more than he can eat. Again, that's having to do with harvesting and reaping. Doesn't apply, right? That the hired laborer shall not eat produce that is not being harvested, right? Again, doesn't apply to you. To pay wages to the hired man at the due time. Okay, now this can't apply to you. You got your own business, or if you just ever hire somebody, hey bro, can you come help me move? I'm moving today. I need your help, man. You come help me move. I pay you $100 for the day. I pay you $50 for the day. That's all I got. You do it for this price? Yeah, man. I help you for the $50. Oh, that was, man, that was a tough move, man. All right, we all done. All right, man. I'm gonna go ahead and head to the crib now, man. Can I get that $50, man? Oh man, man, look, I'm gonna have to hit you tomorrow, right? I ain't even cashed my check, right? I just got my check. I ain't even cashed my check. You know what I'm saying? It's a matter of fact, I can't even give it to you tomorrow because it's the weekend, and it's we gotta wait until Monday, man. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna deposit it tomorrow, and then it's gonna take like a whole day, 24 hours after that, in order for the check to clear, and then I look after you, I pay you. But man, you told me cash in hand today. We'll see. Guilty, guilty, guilty. 189, to deal judicially with the Hebrew bondman in accordance with the laws appertaining to him. Again, you don't. None of us are walking around here with Hebrew slaves, right? And none of us have our own brothers as slaves and servants unto us. I would hope not. But if you do, this applies to you. If you're out there and you got servants, this applies to you, right? Again, the Most High sounds like he's giving these laws to people who are expected to be under these conditions. He sounded like he wrote this law was meant for a people, a population that would have bondmen and bondwomen, bondmaids, right? Like 190, not to compel the Hebrew servant to do the work of a slave. All right, we're going to keep going past that since I don't think that really applies. Not to sell a Hebrew servant as a slave. Let's keep it moving past that. Not to treat a Hebrew servant rigorously. All right, I don't think any of you have any servants to treat rigorously. But if you do, if you have servants, if you're one of those few who got it made and you paid and you laid in the shade, and boy, you better be adherent to this. You better not be treating your Hebrew servants rigorously. 193, not to permit a Gentile to treat harshly a Hebrew bondman sold to him. And I was going to say this doesn't apply, but it really does, because in this society, slavery is still in effect, right? Anybody who who goes to prison, you run afoul of the heathen's law, they can make you a slave. They can make you a servant, right? So, all right. So now we can become slaves in this country. And not only can we do. We are the biggest prison population, right? And that being true, what are you doing to stop the Gentiles from harshly treating your Hebrew brethren? What are you doing about it? You're permitting it, right? You're not stopping them from the fucked up treatment that they have of our people. What are you doing about it? You're guilty if you're letting it happen and you're not doing shit. What are you doing? What are you doing for your brethren, man? Are you putting a foot up these people's asses? Are you stopping them from unjustly treating your people? Are you doing it? How? Okay, you're not putting a foot up their asses. Are you working the political system? Are you working a political angle? Do you have some other sort of angle that you're working to not permit them to do this? No, if you're just sitting back, allowing this to happen in this society and not lifting a finger to do anything, guilty, guilty, guilty. How are you atoning? You're not. Dead man walking. 194. Not to send away a Hebrew bondman, servant, empty-handed, when he is freed from service. 195. To bestow liberal gifts upon the Hebrew bondsman at the end of his term of service, and the same should be done to a Hebrew bondwoman. To redeem a Hebrew maid servant. Not to sell a Hebrew maid servant to another person. To espouse a Hebrew maid servant. We're shooting through these because, like I said, they don't apply. I'm just going to run through them really quick and keep it moving. To keep the Canaanite slave forever. All right. So now I got to ask you people, you guys who say that when he says forever, he means forever, ever, 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 ever. That's what you believe, right? So if you believe that, then you're held to that standard. If you believe that forever means throughout all the ages, then where are your Canaanite slaves at that you're supposed to keep enslaved forever? Where are they? Where are they? Again, in the back, where are your Canaanite slaves that you're supposed to keep forever? You say forever means throughout all the ages. You utilize that belief when it's convenient for you to try to make your stance on your doctrine. So you can't try to wiggle out now. Stand on it. You're in violation of the law right here if you do not still have your Canaanite slaves in possession. You do not have Canaanites still in slavery right now to this day? You're supposed to have them in slavery right now to this day. Why don't you? Don't say, "Oh, I can't." Well, why would the Most High not give you the ability to do this if he wants you to do this? It doesn't make sense. He wants you to do this, but he doesn't give you the ability to do this. It doesn't make sense. So, law still in effect, law pushers. Where are your fucking Canaanite slaves that you're supposed to have forever, according to you? Because forever means throughout all the ages. Produce your slaves or forever shut the fuck up. 200. Not to surrender a slave who has fled to the land of Israel to his owner who lives outside Palestine. Not to wrong such a slave, not to muzzle a beast while it is working in produce which it can eat and enjoy. All right. Vows, oaths, and swearing. 200. That a man should fulfill whatever he has uttered. You got to keep your word. You got to keep your oath. He doesn't want you out here swearing, but if you do, you better fulfill it. You better keep your word. You better. He doesn't care about any excuses. If you utter it, you better hold true to it. If you say, "I'm going to do such and such, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, oh, I swear I'm going to do this. If you just do such and such for me, Lord, I'm going to do such and such. I'm going to be better. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I give my word. My word is bond, yo." Come on, beat. It's my word, beat. Don't get insulted out there, my family. on the East Coast, man. I'm just fucking with you. Y'all get my point? Don't say it if you don't mean it. Don't say it if you don't mean it, because he will hold you to it. Trust me. Trust me. 204. Not to swear needlessly. Not to violate an oath or swear falsely. You better not break your word. You better not give your word and then break it. You better not swear falsely. You better not. You shall not swear falsely by my name, profaning the name of your power. I am Yahweh. You better not. You better not. Don't swear at all. As Yahweh Shai said, it's better to not swear at all. 206. To decide in cases of annulment of vows, according to the rules set forth in the Torah. How can you decide in cases of annulment of vows? You can't. The white man does, right? The heathens, they decide, right? How many of you, when it's time to decide cases of annulment of vows, do you guys go before your Hebrew brethren? You know, a court of Hebrew judges. You don't, right? You go to the white man, you go to the heathens, right? That's what you do, isn't it? Yep. Sure it is. Sure it is. You go get these heathen lawyers, go before these heathen judges, and you take your Hebrew situation to your enemies for them to judge you, for them to judge your brethren, for them to deal between you and your wife, for them to decide what happens with your children, with your family, right? This is what you guys do. Hebrew woman, Hebrew man, Israelite woman, better said, right? Not to break a vow. Not to break a vow. Many of you break these vows all the time. All the time. You give your word and you break it all the time. I promise to love you in sickness and in health. All you ladies out there, your aquat out there, what's y'all big lie? I promise to love, honor, and obey. Oh shit! She promised to love, honor, and obey. All the fellas out there like, shit, that bitch is dying. She going to hell. She going to hell. She going to hell. All right, we can go get into that. I know what hell is. I'm being funny. Okay. I know it's a condition. I know it's not a place. Just joking. I don't want to hear none of you stupid people out there. Look, he's stupid, man. He said he think you can go to hell. Why y'all listen to this fool who think you can go to hell? All right. To swear by his name truly. Now, you better not swear by his name at all. But if you do, because you believe in the law, you don't believe in Yahweh Shai and what Yahweh Shai said about not swearing at all. You believe in the law. So you believe that it's okay to swear. You better swear by his name truly. You must revere Yahweh your power. Only him shall you worship. To him shall you hold fast, and by his name shall you swear. By his name shall you swear. You can't say, I swear to God. No, that's not his name. By his name shall you swear. Or don't. 209. Not to delay in fulfilling vows or bringing vowed or free will offerings. Do not delay in fulfilling vows or bringing vowed or free will offerings. How many of you bring vowed or free will offerings? How many do it? Why don't you do this? This sounds like something you're supposed to do under the law. Why don't you do it? Say it with me. Because I can't. Because I can't. So if you can't, that means you're not supposed to, right? Right? Again, to say otherwise is saying that the Father fucked you over, that he's dealing unjustly with you. He's a shyster. You can't have it both ways. So be careful what you utter. Be careful what you say. Be careful what you insinuate. Are you able to bring free will offerings? Are you able? Not should you do it, but can you do this? No, then the law gotta go. The sabbatical and jubilee years. 210. To let the land lie fallow in the sabbatical year. What land? This land that we're in right now? So you mean tell me we got control over this land that isn't ours? We have no power, no control, no footing in this land. We are in the land of our captivity, but we're supposed to let the land lie fallow in the sabbatical year, right? How are we to do this in this land that we don't control? This land that isn't ours. How do we do this? You can't. Come on, say it with me. I can't. We can't. Why? Because the land isn't ours. So again, it sounds like these laws are given to people who's supposed to have land. But it makes sense, right? When the Most High says, I'm going to give you these laws for you to govern you in the land that I'm going to give to you. These are all laws that we're supposed to adhere to in the land that he gave to us, that he gave to our forefathers. When he gave them the land, this was supposed to be the laws of the land. But we're not in the land. That's why you don't have an ability to fulfill the law. He knows what he's doing, but you're too fucking stupid to see what he's doing. He took away your ability to keep the law. And you can't see that he took it away. You know that you're not able to fulfill these obligations of the law, but you think that he still has it in place anyway, because that's how he rolls, right? That's just fucking dumb. To cease from tilling the land in the sabbatical year, can't do it. Not to till the ground in the sabbatical year, not to do any work on the trees in the sabbatical year. A lot of y'all out there like, what is a sabbatical year? What is a sabbatical year? 7th year, right? Not to reap the aftermath that grows in the sabbatical year in the same way as it is reaped in other years. Not to gather the fruit of the tree in the sabbatical year in the same way as it is gathered in other years. To sound the ram's horn in the sabbatical year. I don't know a single Israelite who has sounded the ram's horn in the sabbatical year. Who's doing this? Who's responsible for this? Who has done it? If you're a law pusher, why have you not done it? Why do you not do this? This is your responsibility. You got to carry this out. You can't pick and choose. Stop cherry picking the law. 217, to release debts in the 7th year. Yeah, most of us are in debt. Most of us are in debt. We don't have any ability to release anybody else's debt. We don't have many people that are in debt to us. Well, you got somebody in debt for you for a few bucks, maybe. Maybe some of you out there who's dealing in a little bit more money and you loaned a more substantial amount of money to somebody that you trusted to pay you back, and they haven't been able to because life gets in the way and they just continue to fall on hard times, and the hole they thought they were going to get out of, it just got deeper. So they're still in debt to you. It happens, right? They didn't willfully screw you over. Situations prevented them from paying you, so they're still in debt. Do you release them from debt after 7th year? After 7 years at the 7th year mark of being in debt to you, have you released them? 218, not to demand return of a loan after the sabbatical year has passed, not to refrain from making a loan to a poor man because of the release of loans in the sabbatical year, not to refrain from making the loan to a poor man because of the release of loans in the sabbatical year. Just because you just finished releasing people from their obligation to you, now you're like, man, I don't want to loan to nobody else. I don't want to loan to this poor man because I done just lost money by releasing people from their obligation to me. Nope, you You can't do that. You can't refrain from making a loan to a poor man just because you relieve somebody else of their debt to you. You can't do it. You still got to make the loan to the poor man. That's the law. That's the law, right? Adhere or go down there. See, there you're talking about hell again. 220. To assemble the people to hear the Torah at the close of the 7th year. Where is this happening? Who's doing this? How many of you camps out there practice this? How many of you law pushers, how many of you camps out there that believe you got to keep the laws, the statutes, and the commandments? Assemble your people to hear the Torah at the close of the 7th year. Don't lie to me. You can't lie to me. I can't hear you. I'm deaf to the bullshit. 221. To count the years of the Jubilee by years and by cycles of 7 years. What is a Jubilee? Look, the average Israelite out there is like, the Jubilee? What the fuck is a Jubilee? Same ones who saying, the law is still in effect. They'll argue you down. What is a Jubilee? Jubilee. Jubilee is candy. It's candy. You go to hell. 222. To keep the Jubilee year holy by resting and letting the land lie fallow. Do you do this? Do you guys do this? Do you keep the Jubilee year holy by resting and letting the land lie fallow? Can you do this? Not just do you do this or should you do this, but can you? 223. Not to cultivate the soil, nor do any work on the trees in the Jubilee year, not to reap the aftermath of the field that grew of itself in the Jubilee year, in the same way as in other years, not to gather the fruit of the tree in the Jubilee year in the same way as in other years, to grant redemption to the land in the Jubilee year. Just a bunch of stuff that you just can't even identify with, right? Again, you should be able to identify with all of this stuff. If these were laws meant for you, you should be able to identify with it, but you can't. You can't identify with most of this stuff because it wasn't meant for you right now. That's the bottom line. It was not meant for you right now. That's why you can't identify with it. The court and judicial procedure. Law 227. To appoint judges and officers in every community of Israel. So we're gonna make this a twofold slap. Have you been appointing judges and officers in every community of our people? No, you haven't. Why? Because we can't. I don't want to hear. He don't want to hear you can't. You're supposed to do this. You're not supposed to allow your circumstances to stop you from carrying out the law. You're not supposed to allow nobody or nothing to stop you from carrying out the law. The Most High ain't stopping you from carrying out the law. He gave you every ability to do these things. You say that's what you got to be saying, because if the law is still in effect, then he got to be providing a way for you to carry out all these things. They should still be applicable to you, and there should still be a way for you to do these things. If there is not a way, it is because he did not give you a way, and if he did not give you a way, he did not give you the law. Men did. Okay, so that's one slap. The other way, what about the land of Israel? If we can't say this is talking about the people, we're talking about the land. Have you appointed judges and officers in every community in the land of Israel? But I've never been to the land of Israel. But I can't. How am I supposed to? See what I'm saying? It's hard. It's hard to justify your belief system because it's hard to do that balancing act. It's impossible. The Most High is trying to show you that you're fucking foolish. He's removing your wisdom. He's tearing it down. 228. Not to appoint as a judge a person who is not well versed in the laws of the Torah, even if he is expert in other branches of knowledge. Have any of you participated in the election process of this country, of any land? Have you participated in your country's elections? You're guilty, because you have appointed as judges people who are not well versed in the laws of the Torah, even though they are experts in other branches of knowledge. You've appointed non-Israelites into places of authority. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to appoint judges of people who are not of Israel. You're not supposed to elect non-Israelites to any position of authority over you. 229. To adjudicate cases of purchase and sale. Nope, you can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do this because we're not the judges. To judge cases of liability of a paid depositary. Nope, can't do this because we're not judges of this land. To adjudicate cases of loss for which a gratuitous borrower is liable. Nope, can't do this because we're not the judges. 232. To adjudicate cases of inheritances. Nope, you can't do this because we aren't the judges. 223. To judge cases of damage caused by an uncovered pit. Nope, you can't do this. Say it with me, because we aren't the judges. To judge cases of injuries caused by beasts. No, you can't do this because we aren't the judges. To adjudicate cases of damage caused by trespass of cattle. No, we can't do this because we aren't the judges, because we have no land, because we have no cattle. To adjudicate cases of damage caused by fire. Nope, we can't do this because we aren't the judges. To adjudicate cases of damage caused by a gratuitous depositary. Come on, beat me to it. No, we can't do this because we aren't the judges. There you go. Y'all's faster than me on that one. 238. To adjudicate other cases between a plaintiff and a defendant. Yep, same as the rest. Nope, we can't do this because we aren't the judges, man. Not to curse a judge. Not to curse a judge. 240. That one who possesses evidence shall testify in court. Come on. Many of you grew up in the don't snitch culture like I did. Come on. I'm a South Central baby. You feel me? I grew up in that gang banging world and that gang banging life. I ain't told on a single person a day in my life. Not a day in my life. I've been in situations where I had stuff done to me. What? Nope. I didn't see him. I don't know who it was. I don't know, man. I don't know nothing about nothing. I'm going to catch them in the streets. How about that? You feel me? That's the world I came from. So I know I'm guilty. I've had evidence of plenty of things and kept my mouth shut. Come on, man. How many of you, just like me, grew up in the inner cities, grew up in that culture of keep your mouth shut? Don't say shit. Don't snitch. Bite your fucking tongue. We're all guilty according to the law. I ain't guilty because I don't believe in the law. The law don't apply to me. But according to y'all who believe in this law, if any of you have ever had evidence of any crime, you've ever had evidence of it and you didn't snitch, you didn't tell, you didn't bring it to light, you're in trouble. You're supposed to testify in court, but you're not to testify falsely. Do not testify falsely. Many of you have done this. Many of you have been these snitch ass motherfuckers who've been telling, but you told falsely. You get in that motherfucking court lying to get yourself out of trouble because your ass was a criminal and your fellow criminal, you know what I'm saying, got caught up and y'all went down together. And to get yourself out of trouble, you start snitching. But the worst kind of snitching is the lying snitch. When you start telling on the other motherfucker, but shit you did. You start putting it on the other person, but you did it. Or you snitch on a person and you're just lying because you just want that person to get in trouble. You just want that person to go down. So you start lying and acting like you got evidence, acting like you were a witness, acting like you know something about something and you didn't know shit. You just had an opportunity to take somebody down that you didn't like. So you start lying. You guilty. I don't care how long it was. I don't care if it was because I don't care if it was before you came into this truth. You're still accountable because you never atoned for it. If you did it at any point in your career as a person, you are still accountable because you never atoned. How do I know? If I don't know you, that you've never atoned. Guess, come on, guess how I know? Because you can't. So I know you didn't. Period. 242. That a witness who has testified in a capital case shall not lay down the law in that particular case. That a transgressor shall not testify. Listen, we just finished talking about that. You were transgressor of a law. You turn around and you snitch on your co-defendant. You snitch on the person you got locked up with, you got caught with. Transgressor of the law. You ever snitched and told on somebody, testified on somebody, told on somebody when you were guilty, when you were wrong? Only innocent, righteous people who had nothing to do with a crime or situation are supposed to testify. Not you who are fucking filthy in your own sin and guilty yourself. You are a transgressor. You're not supposed to testify. You're supposed to shut the fuck up. 244. That the court shall not accept the testimony of a close relative of the defendant in matters of capital punishment. The court shall not accept the testimony of a close relative of the defendant in matters of capital punishment. 245. Not to hear one of the parties to a suit in the absence of the other party. I'm going to take this because we are not the judges. I'm going to put this in the layman's terms. Have you ever got mad at somebody or accused somebody of something based off the word or accusation of another person? Already jumped to conclusions, already believed the party before you ever heard the other party? That's wrong. But even worse than that is even allowing them to tell you about something in the first place. If you've ever let somebody come and tell you something about another person, what another person did or said, and that person is not around, guilty. Guilty. Don't let nobody come to you and say, so-and-so, no, shut up, so-and-so ain't here. I don't want to hear about it. Go get so-and-so, bring so-and-so over here, then y'all tell me about it together. Otherwise, I don't want to hear it. Nope, you don't get down like that. Y'all be some gossiping motherfuckers, some gossiping little bitches. Letting people come and run to you without the other person around to be able to defend themselves, tell you what so-and-so did, tell you what so-and-so said, implicating so-and-so, smutting so-and-so, trashing so-and-so. Where's so-and-so? I don't know. All guilty. 246. To examine witnesses thoroughly. Most of you don't even do this. Y'all jump to fucking conclusions. You're a respecter of persons. You just believe people based off of who they are to you. You just trust people based off who they are to you. You don't like the other person, you're going to believe the person you do like in a situation. You don't examine the witnesses thoroughly. Guilty. 247. Not to decide a case on the evidence of a single witness. How many have you done this? How many of you have, before you decided to believe something, before you decided to judge, before you made up your mind about something, how many of you have gotten the testimony or evidence for more than one witness to something before you jumped out the window and believed the one witness? How many? Because if you've allowed yourself to believe the evidence of a single witness in any case, big or small, any matter, big or small, guilty. To give the decision accordingly to the majority when there is a difference of opinion among the members of the Sanhedrin as to matters of law, not to decide in capital cases according to the view of the majority, when those who are for condemnation exceed by only one, those who are for acquittal. See, look, these are rules for how you govern in your land. He's giving us rules for everything, right? But this is for in our own land, when we have our own government, right? We can have our own statutes because we got our own statehood, our own land, our own body of government, right? That's what this is for. We're in our captivity. We're not privy to any of this. So this law is void, man. Y'all still can't see it. We're at 250 of 613 laws, and already y'all should be exhausted with listening to this shit. Y'all should be like, fuck. Y'all should be looking for the nearest trash can to throw the law away at. Y'all should be scared to death to try to continue to walk in under this law. Y'all should be scared to death. You should not still be holding on fast to this law, listening to this. Again, we're only 250 laws in, and already you're dead. You're dead. With no chance or way of revival. There's no way you can come back from any of this. There's no system or structure in place to forgive you, for you to atone of your sins. You can't do it. It is impossible. How many times over are you guilty? Or how many times over do you think these law pushers are guilty? For those of you who walk in your liberty. You see how dumb this shit sounds? Oh, but then we're not done. We're going to keep going because we got to beat this fucking horse fucking all the way dead. Right? All the way dead. 251. To treat parties in a litigation with equal impartiality. To treat parties in a litigation with equal impartiality. You can't take favorites. If you've ever taken sides with a person because you're partial to that person instead of being impartial in the matter, you're guilty. You're guilty. And that can range. That can range from your child, your mother, or somebody has getting into a situation with somebody else, and you side with your mother, you side with your father, you side with your brother, you side with your cousin, you side with your woman, you side with your child in the matter just because they are who they are to you. They can be dead fucking wrong, but you stand with them in their wrongness. Right? You back them. Even though they're wrong, you still back them because they're your loved one. That's treating parties in a litigation with unequal impartiality. Right? That's the truth of the matter. 252. Not to render iniquitous decisions, but you do. Not to favor a great man when trying a case. Not to take a bribe. Oh, come on, man! Don't tell nobody, man. Look, here, take this, take this. Just don't say nothing. How many of you have done this? Oh, plenty of you have, and I bet you a lot of you done it in your younger days, as a child, as a teenager, right? You've taken bribes not to tell on somebody, right? You've done this, and it doesn't matter that you're a child. Children are under the law too. Doesn't matter if you're just a teenager. Teenagers are under the law too. And if you've ever done it in any matter, great or small, you've done it. You're guilty. You're accountable. Can't atone. You're in trouble. 255. Not to be afraid of a bad man when trying the case. That means, like, don't get scared of a person and be scared to finger them. Oh, finger, I don't like that term. Be scared to point in their direction, to tell on them, to tell the truth of the matter because you're scared of them. See, but we don't try cases either, though, right? When trying a case, right? So you would have to throw this out, right? See, because you have to pay attention to the wording. You have to say, well, but it says when trying a case. When do you try cases? I don't, man, because I'm not a judge. Throw it out. 256. not to be moved in trying the case by the poverty of one of the parties. Again, on a legal level, we're not judges. But when you put it in layman's terms, because even in our normal lives, our regular lives, we have opportunities to hold the position as judge in certain matters, certain instances, right? So we're going to apply this to these instances, right? These we're going to call these trying cases, not to be moved in trying the case by the poverty of one of the poverty's parties, not to pervert the judgment of strangers or orphans, not to pervert the judgment of a sinner, a person poor in fulfillment of commandments. 259, not to render a decision on one's personal opinion, but only on the evidence of two witnesses who saw what actually occurred. What did he say? Not to render a decision on one's personal opinion, but only on the evidence of two witnesses who saw what actually occurred. Many of you out there, guilty, guilty, motherfucking guilty. Let's keep it going. Not to execute one guilty of a capital offense before he has stood his trial. Not sure, but again, depending on what lifestyle you come from, this may apply to you. Have you ever executed? Yes, murdered, killed, taken somebody off the map that was guilty of a capital offense before they stood trial? Somebody ever kill your brother, shot your cousin, cause harm to somebody that you love, and you hit those streets? You went to the mattresses. You didn't go to the law. You went to the mattresses. You went and handled that business yourself. You didn't let them go to trial. You became judge, jury, and executioner. You ever did that? Guilty, 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 and guilty. 261. To accept the rulings of every Supreme Court in Israel. In Israel. The law, this pertains to the land. What land? Israel. Our land. This pertains to us in our lands. Not to rebel against the orders of the court. What court? Our court. Where is our court? We don't have one. So if we don't have one and we can't adhere to this, the law is not in effect. It is not in place. It is done away. Right? So we're going to end right here. We'll pick up in our next lesson with injuries and damages. Right? But we're trekking through. Right? It's going to be a few more videos. We're going to get through this. We're going to walk through this together. We got to do this. Right? The purpose is edification, complete edification. Right? And somebody out there needs for us to go through all 613 of these before they finally say, you know what? It's dumb as shit to continue to try to walk with this law. And I don't care if it's one person. I'm telling you, I'm only here to reach one. Oh man, speaking of which, I had some dumbass law pusher in another community group try to tell me, oh man, look, you got all these videos, man, and you're only getting double-digit views. He said that shit like I'm supposed to cry or something, right? Like he thought he had me, y'all. He thought he had me. He thought my feelings was gonna be hurt and shit. I'm like, dude, do you not see the title of my channel? Each one reach one, man. That is my fucking objective. That's why I named it that. I only want to reach one person. One view is a win. Everything after that is gravy. But all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. It is not on me to try to go and recruit a bunch of people. Every now and then I'll say, hey, check out my channel to somebody, but I don't go trying to post my videos anywhere. I don't go trying to recruit people to come look at it. It's my belief that the Most High will bring the eyes to this, that he wants to see it in due time. In due time. I'm just going to put it out there. That's my only job is to put it out there. And there's somebody who's going to benefit from it, and they're going to come along and they're going to see it. And one person, all I need is one. That's all I want. A one here and here, here and there. That's it. That's it. And it's a win. It's a win because otherwise I could have been doing nothing, right? I could have been sitting back, not doing any at all and helping nobody, not even one. So to help just one is a win, is a win for Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. And a win for Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is a win for me. I do not have any kind of consideration for trying to attain vainglory. I don't care about the approval of men. See, he just told on himself, right? That he needs, that validation from people. He lives for the reactions, for the views, for the likes, and he probably lives and dies by every like and heart that he gets on his post on social media. Right? I'm not the type. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about any of that. None of it. I don't need any pats on the back. Any pats on the back. I don't need it. I just need the Most High to be pleased with me that I did this, that I put it out there. Right? I don't care how many views that it gets, double-digit views. Hey, that's better than no views. That's great. That is a great job. See, because this is only meant for the few. See, if I was doing something about the law and how the law was great, see, then it would be a mass amount of people. See, because then I would be leading people through the broad gate. But I'm not. This is the straight gate. And few there be that find it. That's what he said, right? Few there be that find it. So it's going to be a few. Those who are supposed to come into this liberty. Those of the elect, they are the few. It's only going to be the few, select, the chosen. The elect are going to find this. Those who are meant to find this. Not even everybody of the elect is going to find this. Just those who are meant to find this, and this will be utilized as the tool, the instrument for bringing them out of the mental darkness that they're in, the spiritual darkness that they're still under, so that they can be sealed, awakened, and they can turn around, and each one of them can reach one more person. That's what it's about. That's what I'm here for. That's all I want to do. And on that note, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all the glory to my Heavenly Father, Yahweh. I pray in the name of my beloved Lord and Savior, his blessed Son, Yahweh Shai. Grace, peace, and blessings to you out there, the elect of Israel. It's my prayer that you guys are all edified, that you guys are increased in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I appreciate your time. And I know it's the Most High. It's him that waters the seeds. I'm just supposed to plant them and let him take care of the rest. So keep walking in your liberty, Yasharala. All right? We're going to keep this going. That's a wrap for Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death. The 613 Laws portion of the study, part 8, in the books. See you soon on the next one. Shalom.